Hey guys, it's me again. If you notice, I have a little bit change of scenery here. I wanted to do a video about my tattoos. I get a lot of compliments, a lot of questions, things like that on my tattoos, and so I thought I would just do a video about them. So here we go. So I have 10 tattoos in total. By no means do I think that I am like tatted or anything like that, but I really like tattoos. I think they're a great way to express yourself. I know that everyone kind of has different opinions, and some people agree and some people disagree. I figured I would go from first tattoo to newest, and then I also wanted to go over just some tips that I would like to pass along. Maybe you're thinking about getting your first tattoo, or you just want to know some tips. So I got my first tattoo whenever I turned 18. I was a fresh 18-year-old ready to rebel against anybody that looked at me the wrong way. So I naturally went and got this guy right here. It's a diamond, if you couldn't tell. A kind of shoddy one. If you remember several years ago, this type of diamond was like a really big design. It was like really popular. It was on hats, clothes, you know, all that stuff. And I wanted to get something that was cheap because I was broke. And I wanted to get something small so I could figure out, you know, kind of what the pain level was going to be, because I don't do well with pain at all. But look at me now. So I got my little diamond. And you could probably guess, growing up in a rather strict, conservative Christian household, my parents were thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Didn't threaten to kick me out of the house, just, you know, welcomed me with open arms. So, I continued to get more to show my appreciation for all that they had done for me so far. 2 months later, I got this right here, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you." And I was like, ha, Mom, what are you gonna say now? I got a Bible verse tattooed on me. I got that one, and I'll go ahead and say that it hurt. They all hurt. All your tattoos hurt. Some areas hurt more than others, but they all hurt. And I guess the tattoo is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I am a Christian. It's just one of those Bible verses that I always turn to first, and I always look back to first whenever I'm going through some difficult times. So I wanted a permanent reminder of that placed on my body. Then 2 or 3 months after that, thanks to my minimum wage job, I spent every penny that I had, and I got this right here. And it says, "Ich liebe dich." It's German for "I love you." And that was kind of a in memory of my grandfather that had passed away recently before that time. And that was just something that I got to remember him by. And then I would say about 4 months after that, I got my Blackhawks tattoo. I'm a very big fan of the Chicago Blackhawks. It's a hockey team. If you don't know hockey, it sucks for you. So I got that tattooed on me. And then a few months after that, I think right before I turned 19, I got my cherry blossoms. And they have no significant or sentimental meaning at all, other than the fact that I like cherry blossoms and I thought they were pretty. Go ahead, slap it on me. So a few months after that, I decided to get another tattoo. And so I got this guy right here on my back. It is just some tropical hibiscus flowers, because again, I thought they were pretty and they were colorful, and I found the picture on Pinterest and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I don't have any financial responsibilities right now. I should be saving. So up until that point, I had been using the same 2 artists, other than the dude that did my little diamond, but we'll disregard that. So I've been using the same two artists. I've used Nate and Drew, who at the time were at Outlaw Tattoo. And if you're not from here, then just disregard it. But they now work at their own shop. So they have the Halcyon Tattoo Studio, which Nate owns, and then Drew, I believe, is like a shop manager. My money started to run out, and I decided that I would try and find someone that was cheaper, because that's what you want to do. You want to find someone that works cheaper whenever you're putting permanent ink on your body. Robert and I had just gotten engaged at this point, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna seal the deal here, and we're gonna get matching tattoos. So I found this other person at this other shop that I'm not going to name because I'm not that petty anymore. Robert and I got this. So mine's a doe, and it says always. And Robert has a buck on his back, and it says forever. So, you know, he likes deer, and I'm whatever. So I got the doe, he got the buck. That was kind of our thing. It was pretty cheap, not the best quality work. So shortly before Robert and I got engaged, my mother passed away. And so obviously gotta do something for that. So a few months after we got our tattoos, I wanted to do something for her, obviously. So I got a very, very sentimental token for her. And it's a prayer, more or less, from a Bible verse that she prayed over my brother and I for as long as I can remember, up until before she was unable to speak. So obviously it holds a strong sentimental value. And it's from Numbers 6:24 through 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift you up. Well, nope, that's not it. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. I gave him the verse to refer back to if needed, paid my deposit, you know, off I went. So I came back, he already had everything stenciled out, and once he tattooed me, it was not a very fun process, by the way. He made me feel very uncomfortable. Anyway, so I got home after posting it all over my social media and sending it to a bunch of friends. You know, this is like a big deal for me. Nobody had the heart to tell me that there was a word missing, okay? And it wasn't like the word at, or the, or is. Oh no, it was the word face. Pretty important word there, yep. Obviously I was absolutely devastated. And there's no room to go in and fix it. There's nothing that you could do. And obviously I'm not getting my money back, because this is a tattoo shop we're talking about. And I will insert a picture here. Ish. Hopefully I can figure that out. But it covers my whole thigh, as you can, well, most of it. The rose was not there to begin with. It was just the words. So I went back and I was like, hey, what can you do? And he said, well, let's slap a rose on it, you know? Okay, that's fine. And we'll put like a little leaf, you know, where the missing word's supposed to be, so it just looks like you placed a flower on top of it. Okay, cool, whatever. Still had to pay for it, mind you. I would not have done that. I would not have gone back to the same artist, but I was young and dumb, and I was broke. I'm pretty sure there's a song about that. So I went back. He put the rose on the leg, and it looked alright until it healed, and it looked like a big black blob. You couldn't tell any real color or definition in the rose. He didn't outline it in black, he outlined it in green, so it looked really messy. Still had to pay for it, but whatever. So I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm just gonna have to live with this for the rest of my life. And it's really depressing, I'll be very honest, because of how much this tattoo meant to me. And I decided to go somewhere cheap, but you get what you pay for. Moving forward, I got this right here. It's a rose, it's got some decoration around it, some filigree, some dangly things. I went back to Nate, who I had used before and never had a problem. And what do you know, it turned out great. And then surprisingly, I actually waited about a year or so before I got something else. I take that back, it was like 7 months. So I went to Nate and I was like, look, I have a really messy looking tattoo. Just do something, make it look a little bit better. He was like, well, you know, there's not much I can do, but I can at least redo the rose, you know, and outline it properly and pack in some more color so it looks like a rose. And he did, and it is by far the worst pain of my entire life. I have never experienced that much pain. And it went on a little while too, but that's just kind of how cover-ups are, because you already have a lot of, you know, scar tissue because you got a tattoo. I just wasn't expecting it though. So, what is this? Like, almost March? 8 months later, I got another tattoo. And this is my newest tattoo. I got this one last weekend. So it's still kind of scabby and healing. But I got this right here. Very fitting, I know. And I got it because, well, I kind of thought it was cool, a cool concept, and I really love makeup, and I'm always gonna love makeup, so there you go. Something very near and dear to my heart. And I probably will not be getting another tattoo for at least 6 months. So, now that that's done, let me talk about some tips and some things to expect and some things to keep in mind. So first of all, the big lesson for today is don't go somewhere cheap, because you get what you pay for. And sometimes you might come out lucky, but again, we're dealing with like permanent ink. Ain't going away. So do you really want to take your chances? Go somewhere very reputable. Don't just go to the place right up the street because it's convenient. Don't just go somewhere because, oh, my friend said it was good. Do your research. Because not only could you end up with a bad tattoo, you could end up with, you know, hepatitis or something far, far, far worse than just a botched tattoo. You also want to have a pleasant experience with people that are very professional, and I have been to a couple different artists that were not professional, and I've sat in on a couple tattoos that were not professional, and it's a terrible experience. That's why I stick with the same 2 artists. Another tip, eat before you go. This is extremely important. I don't care how macho you are, it's painful and it takes a lot out of you. You need to eat before you go. You also need to have something sugary and bring something sugary with you. So for example, before I get tattooed, I always make sure I eat something, you know, kind of light. I don't want to be stuffed. But, you know, you do want to have something in your stomach, and then I like to bring like a Mountain Dew or some Skittles or something with me that I can snack on and drink while I'm getting tattooed, because it does take a lot out of you, especially if you're going for something that takes like several hours, then it's very important to keep your blood sugar up. Tip number 3, respect your artist. If you're going somewhere good and you're going to use a good artist, it's called a tattoo artist for a reason. So don't just go up there and say, here's a picture, copy and paste, because maybe they want to put their own twist on it. So just think about that, be respectful, and trust them. Again, for the 8th time, that's why you use someone that's trustworthy and reputable. You also want to be respectful of his or her time. Don't show up late, but also don't show up like super early, because that's kind of annoying too. Give them their space, give them their time they need to set up. It's not going to be a quick in and out process. You need to allot some time. Another tip going along with that, tip your artist. Especially if they're doing good work, tip your artist. It's a service industry. You tip your waitress, tip your artist. Even if you're getting a $500 tattoo, 9.8 times out of 10, if they actually like work at the shop, they don't get $500. The shop takes a cut of that, however much that might be. If I get a tattoo, I try to give $20 to $30 extra, just because, you know, they did a good job. had a good experience. I plan to come back to you. And my last tip, piece of advice, whatever you want to call it, is to pay attention and don't be afraid to speak up. A very, very fair amount of tattoo artists are guys. I have only been to male tattoo artists. There just seems to be more men than women, I guess. From my point of view, you know, I'm kind of timid, I'm just a little girl, and so a lot of tattoo artists, especially men, can be a little bit intimidating in my opinion, just from a first glance. I mean, they're pretty hard, they're tattoo artists, for God's sake. If they come up with a design that you don't like, or if they're doing something, or if they're saying something that really offends you, that's really inappropriate, which has happened to me before, say something. Don't just sit there and take it. Don't just, oh yeah, that looks fine, we'll go ahead with it. Don't. Please, don't be afraid to speak up. And also be aware of your surroundings. Cleanliness, you know, hygiene, sterilization, like that's huge, huge whenever it comes to a tattoo shop and kind of the environment that you're in. You don't want to see your tattoo artist like eating a cheeseburger in one hand and tattooing in the other. You're dealing with needles. You're dealing with lots of factors that if things are not sanitized properly, you know, you get cross-contamination. It just, lots of bad things can happen. Just use a little common sense there. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. I hope that you can take something away from it, or I hope that you at least enjoyed watching it. Tattoos are something that's very personal. Whatever reason you get something, it's your own reason. I know that everyone has their own opinions, and that's totally fine. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you want to know the name of the artist and the shop that I used who screwed up the most important tattoo in my entire life, then let me know and I'll warn you. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video.